Hello, I'm Lee from the blog Little by Little Home, and today let's chat about 10 tips to organize your kitchen open shelves. After living with open shelving in our kitchen for 2 years now, I've learned some tips and I'm going to share 10 of them here with you today on how to keep it organized and to do that in the most simplest type of way. So let's get started. Whether open shelving is new to your kitchen, maybe you just removed the upper cabinets or you've had it for a while, are just kind of struggling or looking for maybe just a little bit of information on kind of how to reorganize it. Tip number one is to decide on the purpose of your shelving. Have you put up open shelving purely for aesthetics? You just want to put decor on it, you just want it to look pretty. That's absolutely fine. Go into it with that mindset. Possibly maybe you want to only have it to be a functional purpose. You want to just have spices and seasonings. You want it to act sort of like a pantry for your home. Whatever maybe you would put in kitchen, upper cabinets is what you put on the shelves. Or possibly you want to do a combination of the two. You want some kind of pretty stuff, maybe put some collections on there, but you also want it to function for your family. You want it to be something sort of like what we have, where you just kind of pull what you need off, the spices, seasonings. I've got honey over here, all kinds of stuff, plates and dishes. So the first tip would be to decide on what the purpose is of your open shelves. Now you can move forward. The next tip would be choose a color and style palette. Look around your home. Your kitchen is also a part of your home. Make your kitchen open shelving an extension of the overall look of your entire home. Possibly you decorate with bright colors. Maybe you prefer neutrals. Maybe you just like contrasting colors. Maybe you like lots of patterns. Whatever it is, incorporate that into the style of your shelves. As you can see, I tend towards woods and whites and warmer tones, and I wanted a lot of glass, maybe some pottery, that kind of stuff. So take a look around. Your kitchen should be an extension of the rest of your home, and decide on what it is you're looking for, what color, what style you want for your shelves. Tip number 3 would be to minimize what you display. Just because it's in your home doesn't mean it has to go on your kitchen open shelving. So decide, really honestly look, do I need this on my kitchen open shelving? Is it something that could possibly go in a drawer or a cabinet in my kitchen? Or maybe I don't even need it in my kitchen at all. Maybe it's something that I'm just kind of holding on to. Remember that one man's trash can be another man's treasure. If you saw my thrift haul video a couple videos back, I will link that in the description below. But if you saw that video, you know that I came home with some stuff that somebody didn't want, and I was so excited about it. So remember that when you are looking at your stuff, honestly look, pare down what you're gonna put on the shelves. Maybe you do want a lot of stuff on the shelves, and that's fine. It does seem like I do have a lot on my shelves, but I use all of this stuff. But really honestly look, does it have to be on my shelving? Does it have to even be in my kitchen? Does it even have to be in my home? Take it honestly. Tip number 4 is to pick your containers. Whether you want to do glass jars like I did, you want to do pottery, you want to do whatever it is. You could do mix and match. There is no right way of doing this. It is whatever. So go back to your color and your palette style, whatever it is that you enjoy in your home, use that. It does tend to be have a better look if things are a bit cohesive, but it doesn't have to be. Again, if you prefer more of an eclectic look, go for it, because that's what's in the rest of your home, so then it will feel cohesive to your home. Once you decide kind of the look you want, start gathering those containers, whether it's glass jars. Take a look at your local thrift stores. You can tell I'm a big fan of thrift store shopping. You can maybe even purchase a container of mason jars at your local grocery store, order them online. But start looking around. You don't even have to have everything that you need when you start your kitchen open shelving. I didn't have nearly this many containers when I first started, and I've kind of added to them, realized that I want some of them to be in bigger containers. I want smaller for some other ones. So don't feel like you have to have everything the moment that you set up your kitchen open shelving, but decide on what you want the look to be. And then you can kind of keep an eye out for that type of stuff that will fit that in your different shopping excursions. Tip number 5 is to organize for success. After you've really evaluated, you've decided what needs to be on there, set yourself up for success. The best thing to do that I have found for myself is to put on the bottom shelf all of the items that I will use every day or possibly every other day. The most used items will go right here. I have all of our everyday dishes right here on the first shelf. This makes mealtime much faster. Now, if you do have younger kids in your home, maybe if you have glass jars, you might want to have it as a rule of thumb that only adults are allowed to take things off of the shelf. You do whatever it is that will work for you, but set yourself up for success. Put the most used items on the bottom shelf. So what goes up on the shelf above? Now, I have a total of 3 shelves. You might only have 1 or 2, or maybe you have 5. But what I have found is that putting the items that are used next most-ish, it's not even a word, but I use the items on the middle shelf, possibly, maybe some of them every single day, but they don't need to be in really good arm's length. So I have all of our dishes right here, but up here I have, flour and sugar and our oats and my sourdough starter. And I often will maybe once a day at least grab one of those, but I'd rather them be up higher so I have my dishes down low. So decide what's gonna be used second most and put that on the second shelf, the next one up. Now, if you have more than 2 shelves, what you might want to do on those higher shelves, and I get asked about this often, how do you reach the top shelf? Well, I've got 4 taller people in my family, so sometimes they'll grab some of those things way up here. But what I'll do is I'll just pull a chair over. A lot of the things on the top shelf I might only use once every couple weeks, once a month. Pie dishes, I only really use around the holidays, and sometimes I might pull them down and just keep them down in a cabinet so I don't have to keep pulling a chair over and climbing up. You could, if maybe you have some items that you didn't want to get rid of, you don't know where else to put them, you have a collection of something, maybe teacups, whatever it is, the top shelf is a great place to put it. The top shelf could purely be for aesthetics. It could just be home decor kind of things, just whatever it is you want to display. And that is absolutely fine. Again, this is your kitchen, make it what will work for you. Tip number 6 is to stack items. To create more space on your shelving, stack or nest items into each other. This is quite easy when it comes to dishes. Plates and bowls will easily stack into each other. Maybe you have cups you want to put into each other, mugs. Any type of way that you can create more space and give yourself some height will add to the contrast and the dimension of your open shelving. Again, make sure when you're stacking or nesting, they are things that are safe to put into each other. I tend to do that a lot with bowls. There's a couple of bowls in this big one, as well as some of my other mixing bowls. There are smaller ones inside. I just simply have to take down the entire bowl and pull out what I need. But if I was to put each one of those bowls out, they would take up a lot more space, and I would lose space for some of the items that I really want to have on my shelving. Tip number 7 is to make use of baskets and bins. I currently don't have an example on my shelving of this, but there are plenty out there that I have seen, and it's a great idea. Maybe there's some items that are unsightly or canned goods or something that you don't necessarily want people to be able to see. You can just get a basket, put them inside, put the basket up top, and when you need those items, you can just take the basket or the bin down, and there you have it. You have the accessibility, whatever it is that you wanted, but you don't have to necessarily look at what it is. Tip number 8 is that you don't have to display everything. Going back to when we pared down, don't feel like you have to put everything on here. Most likely you still have kitchen drawers and cabinets. Tuck some of those things in. And don't feel bad about tucking away some of those things in your drawers and your kitchen cabinets. Leave them fairly easy to get to if they're things that you're going to use quite often, but just because it's in your kitchen does not mean it has to be on your open shelves. Tip number 9 is to buy in bulk and label. Buying in bulk is a great way to save money. However, when you do so, typically it comes in unsightly, let's just use that word, unsightly plastic containers or possibly plastic bags. This helps them to keep down on the cost. But now that you've decided on what type of jars and containers that you want, you don't necessarily want to go throw like a bag up on here as well. What I do is I regularly change out the spices and seasonings that are here in my jars. I will wash out the jar, and because my labels are handmade, my daughter hand printed these on some labels that I purchased just at the local craft store. And because they are hand done, I will wash the bottoms by hand. I'll throw the tops in the dishwasher, but I'll wash it by hand. Once it's dry, I will then put in the refill of it. For me, it's worth the extra minute or so. I have a drawer nearby that's full of all of my bulk items. I also have some in my pantry and some down in storage in our basement. Now, if you buy in bulk and take the items out of the containers that they're labeled in and put them into another container, you're definitely going to need to label them. You can purchase pre-made labels, maybe on Etsy or something like that. You can get some blank labels like we did. That doesn't have to be fancy script like this. You can print something out on your computer, but don't forget to label them because you really don't want to get some of them confused. Your recipes are going to turn out completely different than how they're supposed to. And tip number 10, last but not least, adjust as needed. If something is not working, it doesn't have to stay like that. Remember, this is your home, so you can make it work how you want to. Some of these spices and seasonings that were on the second shelf, I had on the bottom. They were set back behind these. I found that it was more difficult to pull them out, and I found that others that I had on my shelf I was not using. So I got rid of those, moved some of them to the top. Always be willing to adjust as needed to make it work and function for you and your family. Your kitchen might be busy like mine is, and you need to get those meals and get those things going and to clean up and all that stuff quite quickly. And by adjusting and moving things, how it's going to work for your family is the best way to do that. live with it the way that it is for a little bit and then just tweak it and change it. Oftentimes in seasons in life, things might change a little bit, so don't be afraid to adjust as needed because it is your home. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that these tips were helpful for you. If you are thinking about putting open shelving into your kitchen and you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. I also have a video blog post all about the makeover of our kitchen, and I will list that in the description below. I have some other videos about makeovers and different parts of our home in different videos, so you can go back and check those out. But again, thanks for watching today. We'd love it if you would subscribe, and have a great day.